We are back for another exciting episode of hashtag Wednesday Match Play. We missed last week. I was on the road traveling, but I wasn't going to miss another week, and more because of the fact that we had skipped a week. But tonight's guest, and it's a special guest that we have tonight. It's a guy that I've had the chance to be able to get to know a little bit over the last couple of years, and he's not with me here in Scottsdale. He's in Bend, Oregon, but we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about his club, Pronghorn. He's the general manager out of Pronghorn. Spencer Schaub is with us, and I can tell you what he does. I can tell you how he does it, and maybe not how he does it so much. But Spencer, welcome to the Wednesday Match Play. Take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us what you do, and let's start talking Pronghorn, shall we?
Let's do it, Ricky. Thanks for having me. We're sitting up here in Bend, Oregon. 300 days of sunshine in Bend, and I was literally checking the weather cam this morning, watching inches of snow fall up on Mount Bachelor and 60 degrees down here in the valley. And I thought to myself, how does a stupid kid from Michigan get this great place to live? And lo and behold, after spending 9.5 years overseas, working in Australia and England and the Middle East and in Puerto Rico, I land on a plane at like 11 o'clock at night in Bend, Oregon. It's dark as could be. And I drive down this dirt road, which was the back way into Pronghorn. And I wake up in the morning. I'll never forget this. I wake up in the morning to see 9 mountain peaks, snow covered, and think, holy cow, this is probably one of the greatest views in the country, if not the world. So I feel lucky to be here.
Well, that is a great segue into kind of my first question. And Pronghorn, which is a part of the Troon Privé brand of facilities managed by Troon, you've had a long history with Troon. So let's just briefly go back and look at that history with Troon. So where did it start with Troon? You've mentioned some of the places that you've been, and that's something that I really enjoy talking to you about is your history traveling and all the places you've been. So where did it start with Troon? What facilities have you been? And what has your journey kind of been like from the day that you were hired to work for Troon?
Listen, I never thought the journey would be what it's been. It started at a resort of ours outside of Chicago, 63 holes of golf, and that was like my intro into volume, if you will. And 6 months the property was open. We do about 110,000 rounds of golf, and then we turn one of the golf centers or one of the golf clubs into a Nordic center in the winter. And then lo and behold, get this opportunity. Troon does a joint venture with Macquarie Bank and Great White Shark Enterprises, which is Greg Norman's company down in Australia, to effectively develop residential golf communities. So hit the boom in 2000, just after, for everybody watching, just after the Sydney Olympics. Spent 2.5 years in Australia, Australasia, and then I move on to England and spend 5.5 years at the Grove, which is probably one of my favorite hotels in the world, and a golf resort, amazing golf courses owned by Kyle Phillips. The Grove was Hotel of the Year back in 2003. We held the 2006 World Golf Championship. Tiger flies in. For everybody watching, it's the week after the Ryder Cup at the K Club. And remember, everybody, it's pouring rain at the K Club then. And Tiger swoops in, right, kicks it around. He shoots 29 on his opening 9 holes of golf, right? We're thinking, oh no, here comes 59. And Tiger wins by a bunch and takes over $1 million home and says, thanks very much. And then I go to the Middle East, work in the Middle East in Dubai, which was a great time down there. And then landed in Puerto Rico, worked at a St. Regis property called Bahia Beach. And then, as I mentioned, get the phone call for Pronghorn, which is interesting enough. I've been watching Pronghorn through my whole career. And when the company gave the opportunity to me, I was pretty ecstatic. And I'll never forget, I got to tell you this real quick, Ricky. We're flying on the plane from, we go Puerto Rico, Dallas, LA. We're on the plane, my fiance and I, Lisa, and she literally turns to me and she says, hey, Spencer, are we going to the Wild Wild West? And I think to myself, I think we are, right? I mean, how cool is that?
What a journey. Did she go with you to all these places? How long have you guys been together?
Yeah, we met in 2008 when I was in England. So
Wow.
Yeah, she journeyed with me through it. So she's been great like that. But I'll never forget that, landing off the plane thinking, hey, I'm in the Wild Wild West. How cool is that?
That's awesome, man. What a journey. That is just crazy cool that you've been able to have all those opportunities, and obviously you've learned a lot along the way, and the role that you have at Pronghorn is one. I mean, it's a facility that I've been lucky enough to be able to see and to visit and to play, and it's a special place. And Bend, Oregon is known for golf and for snow and skiing and those things that you mentioned, but they're also known for something that we all like to enjoy every now and then. It's craft beer, and there are a lot of brewing companies in Bend. But out of all the brewing companies there, what's your favorite?
Cal, that would be, for me to answer this question, right, would be like me, like saying we're in Italy and you saying, hey, Spencer, pick your favorite pasta. And I'll tell you what, most of the locals we're hugely spoiled. We've got over 30 some craft breweries in the Central Oregon area. But it's interesting, the largest number of craft breweries per capita of any city in America. Deschutes Brewery is probably for all you craft beer drinkers out there. Everybody knows Deschutes Brewery, who just announced actually yesterday that they're going to open up a second brewery in Virginia because they're expanding that much. But the locals would tip their hat. If I had to pick one, and I know you're going to make me, the locals probably would tip their hat to the Boneyard Brewing Group, who makes an unbelievable IPA called RPM, which I know you've had. But, Good Life's doing great beer, and the rest of them are as well. Being from Michigan, and I'm a diehard Lions fan, my mug club hangs at Good Life, and I'm number 81 after Kellen Johnson, who just retired. So, yeah.
So, real quick story that you may not even know about Boneyard. So, their brewing equipment is actually, and assuming that they're still in the same brew system as they were the last time I was there, was the first brew system from Three Floyds out of Munster, Indiana. And the guy that started Boneyard knew the guy that started and founded Three Floyds, and Three Floyds donated the equipment and said, you pay for shipping and it's yours, start your brewery. And they have been doing a fantastic job of that. And out of all of the breweries that we went when we were there, Boneyard is what sticks out the most, just the kind of the rock metal vibe. It's tiny. I mean, it just it almost feels like it's in a garage. So, it actually might be in a garage, if I'm not mistaken.
And I failed to mention as well, I got to mention Crux as well, who
so good.
Their whole tagline is they're a fermentation project, right? So they try new things and they do a great job. And they're actually in an old mechanics garage. So they converted that into this cool little brewery and tasting room. And as you know, when you're there, they have what they call the Sundowner, which at sunset, you get the sort of their beer special where the mountain you turn and face west and watch the sun fall down over Mount Bachelor and the Three Sisters, and one of the most beautiful sunsets I think we have.
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, I totally forgot about Crux. Like we actually went to Crux twice in the 3 days we were there. So 2 courses at Pronghorn. I don't know if I could. I didn't play the DeFazio, but I got a tour of it, and the gentleman that gave me the tour of it, I felt like I had played it. I mean, he went through every hole, tee shot, where you should land it, what club you should hit. Like, I felt like I had played it. Out of the 2, which do you prefer and why?
It's an easy answer. Front 9 of DeFazio, back 9 of Nicholas. There's your best 18 holes on property. And I'll tell you what, I get that question asked a lot to me, and those are the best, not the best. All 36 holes are fantastic. As you know, both of them have high accolades. They've both been ranked within the top 50 in their respective categories. We actually are, Nicholas is holding U.S. Open qualifying in May. And, Fazio continuously gets higher ranks as well. Both have a little bit of contrast to them. But if you and I are playing 18 holes, we're playing the front 9 of Fazio, we're playing the back 9 of Nicholas, and that is by far and away a special treat, in my opinion.
That is, I had never thought that you would say that, and I'm kind of glad that you did, because now I'm thinking my way through that, and now I want to come play it. So you got daily fee on one side, you got members on the other. How many total members does Pronghorn have?
Yeah, we're just over about 330 and growing. The residential communities had some great success over the last year in particular, and we're expecting that number to continue to grow in the next year. The resort itself, Pronghorn's a mixed-use community, so we've got a private residential community, we've got a resort aspect to it. People can stay and play there, and people can build homes and live their dreams there as well. So it's a cool little concept. I like to call it a bit of a hybrid.
So F&B is obviously important to clubs, both daily fee and private, and it's a big focus at Pronghorn. So what are you guys doing with F&B to remain top of mind for members and for guests?
Yeah, I love this question because in the F&B world, the first time that you sit and say to yourself, "Hey, I think we've nailed it," you're already behind the eight ball, in my opinion. And we're pretty fortunate because the Willamette Valley, which has a long growing season, we can get a lot of fruits and vegetables farm to table, and we pride ourselves on that. We have a lot of there's a lot of rural areas around us that have cattle and all the proteins that you would sort of want. And so we were very fortunate to get our executive chef, who's a Washington native, and our team has really focused on a couple different things. One, you can't have, and this is my opinion, right? You can't have your F&B be stale at any point in time, right? And yeah, sure, people like everything from comfort food to eclectic infusion, and somewhere in between, you got to know your marketplace and you got to know your consumer. And the fun thing for us is we have a bit of both. And that plays, and I love the tastings we do every spring and every summer as we get ready for new menus. And that's a big part of who we are, right? We're not afraid to say, let's put something on the menu. If it doesn't work, or we don't like the taste of it, even before we release it, or we don't like the concept of it, we're not afraid to change. And some people are afraid to change. We're certainly not. And I feel that Portland is certainly, Portland's 3 hours away from us. It's a foodie city. And so is Seattle, so is the Bay Area. Those are all significant markets for us where our customers come from. So they're eating a lot of different food the whole time. So that's our direction, and we're going to continue to push it. I don't say we have club food by any means. We're pushing more of that well-rounded a resort modern cuisine that I think a lot of people want today. In my opinion, they want great service, they want to feel in a relaxed environment, and they want to eat good food.
Sounds like a place that I could hang out. That's awesome. Well, it's a good answer for something that's not just, oh yeah, we have a menu and we update it every summer. Well, there's more to it. You said the word tasting and you said the words farm to table, and and I don't want to say that's a trend, but I feel like the farm to table from a marketing perspective has been something that's been creeping into more and more menus. But when you have something that is legitimately farm to table, it tastes better, it's cleaner, it's healthier. Like that's the way that we are shifting as a society to how we consume food. And it's good to know that you guys are doing that and experimenting with that and utilizing those local ingredients.
Yeah, thanks. And the other point I'd add to that is a lot of the way I see food going is in this clean fashion. And clean means not a lot of additives, not a lot of preservatives. It's not being shipped across the country or across the world. You can literally get it to your restaurant within hours.
So do DeFazio and or Nicholas ever visit the property? And if so, do they stop by very often?
Well, Nicholas was here this last summer. I think that's sort of been a little bit well documented now. He was here. I mean, I feel very special about this. He was here on a personal visit in Central Oregon, and he called us up and said, "Hey guys, I'm going to be there with my sons and a friend of mine. I want to come out and play golf." And it was really cool to see Jack out enjoying golf in a casual setting. Showed up in shorts and a golf shirt, and the Golden Bear was in good form. And I'll never forget this. He's so great, standing down there at the first tee with them, and literally, pipes one right down the middle on the first hole. Gets in there, flips a little wedge up to 3 feet, makes birdie on the first. Rest is history. Perfect.
Yeah, well, he did kind of design the golf course, so I mean, he's expected to make birdie on the first hole. So you talked about real estate opportunities a little bit. Maybe expand on that. What real estate opportunities are available at Pronghorn, and kind of where would somebody get started in that journey?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, we have 5 effective neighborhoods in Pronghorn. Everything from buy your custom home site and build your custom home to we have another neighborhood called Four Peaks, which is smaller homes and home sites, which actually can be for anybody interested in more investment or a vacation user opportunity. Those homes can be rented overnight in our rental program. We have a residence club, so where we sell our fractions and 1/12. So you get 4 weeks, 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks in the winter. And we have another, what we call the residences, which are wholly owned 3 and 4 bedrooms that you own. And then as you know, we're in the process of building the 104 room lodge that is scheduled for opening of summer of next year, summer of 2017. So I feel like we have a good portfolio for a lot of people, whether you live in the desert and want to have your summers in Central Oregon, or you live in Canada and want to get out of the snow a little bit earlier, come to Bend, Oregon. So it's a cool place, and as we talked about, there is a tremendous amount to do.
So I saw kind of like literally groundbreaking of where that resort's going to be, and I can't wait for it to be done so I can come back and stay there and see it, and you and I can play 9 holes on one and 9 holes on the other. So Speaking of 9 holes on the DeFazio, when I was doing this tour, we came to this par 3, and I stood there and I'm thinking, all right, this might be the coolest looking hole I've ever seen. And then he kept getting closer and closer to the green. We went down to what was like an opening of the earth, just speaking to me, saying, yeah, this is a special place. So I'm talking about the par 3 on DeFazio, number 8, if I remember correctly. Probably the coolest golf hole I've ever seen. Tell me about that hole, and if there's any history to when he was building the course. You don't just show up and that hole just find itself. Like, what a cool golf hole.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, what a true gem. I mean, in that feature which you're referring to is actually a lava tube. So if you can imagine when the volcanoes of in the mountains that surround us were flowing hot lava, they created these tunnels through the earth. And imagine hot lava just pouring through those tunnels. It's kind of like, you remember those old movies where you'd see like the little small cart going down the tracks, right? And it's got like coal or something in it. And lo and behold, when they're designing the golf course, they didn't know it was there, right? Literally, they did not know it was there. So they're designing the golf course, kind of shaping it in. And because we have so much lava rock around us, they reused dynamite to blow up a lot of this and create these golf holes. Well, lo and behold, one day they're on the 8th of DeFazio, and they're using dynamite to blow up some. I imagine it like this, although it probably didn't happen like that. But the little guy's on the little thing, I don't know what it's called, and he pushes it down, right? And boom, up goes the lava rock. But what happened is the lava rock didn't go blowing up in the air. Nothing happened. And it kind of all just falls in. So they go kind of crawling over to this, and what the heck? And they kind of dig over and look in the hole, and lo and behold, they appears this lava tube underneath the ground. So they got back in touch with Mr. Fazio, and he came back and redesigned that hole as you saw it today, and what people get to play. And I got to tell you, I know all the different wonderful golf publications and writers talk about how that hole is certainly, in a lot of people's eyes, is one of their favorite 18 holes in the world. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. That's cool to hear the history of it and how it kind of just almost by accident. I mean, but the detonator thing that you're talking about, like, I'm picturing all these like old school cartoons and stuff. Like, I've never seen that actually happen. Someone detonate dynamite like that, but I know what you're talking about.
Here's the cool thing about it too, is that the average temperature, sorry to interrupt, the average temperature in those lava tubes is like 55 degrees year round, perfect for a wine cave.
So when we're doing the tour, he said that. Is that something that might be happening? And have you had events down there? I mean, like wine tastings or what have you? I mean, that seems like a perfect storm for something like that.
It does seem like a perfect storm for that, and that lava tube has got some amazing stuff in it. It's got lava sickles. It's got that actually splits in it and curves back around. And you saw some of in the early days. People might have saw some of the pictures that Fazio actually put a desk back there, right? And then he's sort of crafting some of the holes back deep in the lava tube. So, it's got some really interesting history like that to it. But we don't do any events in it today. We like to keep it as natural as we can. And, we've got, there's other lava tubes on property that we're exploring some options on. So watch this space. Who knows where we may be advertising this from. Future.
I love that. So that is great. So do you guys do a lot of events? I mean, special events, not just playing 18 holes, like weddings and special events? Is there space for that at Pronghorn?
There is, and one of the interesting things is a couple years ago, between the first and the 18th hole at the DeFazio course, we actually built there's an existing rock formation in the middle of that pond that sits between the first and the 18th hole. We actually built a land bridge out to there, and we actually now have our own little island as a event place. And so, in my opinion, it's certainly one of the most dramatic. Imagine you're sitting on your own little island surrounded by water in the high desert of Central Oregon. You're overlooking Mount Bachelor and the Three Sisters and Broken Top and Mount Washington and Mount Jefferson, potentially on a clear day, you can always see all the way to Mount Hood. So I'm proud to say that there has been plenty of I-dos now on our little island. And, we refer to ourselves as, we're not a convention services type of property. We have, a couple different boardrooms that can seat up to 20 some people. So we get a lot of those sort of high-end executive board meetings and retreats that will come in and stay in our units and enjoy the property and the amenities and everything Central Oregon has to offer, right? That we've talked about before, from the mountain biking, the hiking, the whitewater rafting, the fly fishing. I think the fly fishing certainly isn't as rivals that of Montana, although Montana is unbelievable. Our mountain biking will put up against Colorado any day of the week. And the skiing at Mount Bachelor is the longest ski season in North America, from end of November through the end of May. And this time of the year, Ricky, is the best, right? We are playing golf now. We're skiing on the weekends. We're starting to fly fish, and we're mountain biking again. So being fit and 40 in Bend is feels like I'm 20 again.
Well, I see one that answers my next question. What else is there to do in Bend? But two, fit at 40 in Bend. It can be a hashtag that I think that might be able to. It's got some legs to it. I like that.
I like that too.
So talk to me about membership. I mean, obviously there's a membership component to Pronghorn. Let's say that I'm interested and I'm moving to the area, like start to finish, maybe, I mean, not full membership spread, but what can members expect at Pronghorn past 36 holes of golf and a restaurant? What's the life of a member like, somebody that wants to go all in and be a complete full member at Pronghorn?
It's a great question. I was literally on the phone driving home from work this evening, and was on the phone with one of our members who's in LA, and we were talking about how's the snow in Mammoth, how's the snow in Bend, and we started talking about why him and his family love to come to Central Oregon, right? And they chose to be members for the lifestyle really that Central Oregon that provides for a lot of individuals. It was funny, when I first moved here, I was really intrigued, and I wanted to understand why people purchased and why they bought in our community. And for the most part, everybody had a common golf background, but instantaneously that was usually followed up with a but, and that but was, I love to fly fish, I love to cross country ski, I'm an avid cyclist. I mean, the amount of professional athletes that just live here in Bend, right? Drew Bledsoe lives here, Chris Horner, amazing cyclist. I mean, I could go on and on. Stephanie Howe, long distance runner, Max King, long distance runner. And that's really the lifestyle that people have chosen to live in this community. And in doing that, have chosen membership at Pronghorn because of all the different offerings. We've got a kids camp that runs for 6 weeks. Almost 8 weeks now. It keeps expanding and growing throughout the whole summer. So when people who are vacation users to Central Oregon and Pronghorn in that case are members, they have that. We have a full concierge service at the property. So when people are flying in, we pick them up at the airport, bring them right into their home or their unit, and then we're setting up all their fly fishing trips for them. We're setting up have the mountain bikes ready in their garage when they arrive, and so it's a full service community, and I think people in today's world, when we're working more hours than we ever have, technology's in our phone and in our hand more than they ever have. When they get away, they want that getaway to be pretty easy for them, and I'm pretty proud of what our team has done.
That is awesome. I mean, where do I sign? Sold. I mean, that's a fantastic way to look at membership and to know that there is more than just 36 holes of golf. And I like the way you prefaced that. Yeah, the golf, but there's the laundry list of things that you can do in the area. I mean, you even add something like craft beer. I mean, if somebody's a brewer or wanting to open a new brewing company or what have you, I mean, you could see that person. Yeah, I love to play golf and I play 35 rounds a year, but I want to open a brewery, and Ben's a good place to be able to do that. So that's really cool. So I didn't tell you before we started that this half an hour is going to fly by, and it has flown by, and we are almost out of time. But before I let you go, we have this thing called the lightning round, and it's 9 questions that are not really Pronghorn related. And I see Tiger behind you, and if I'm not mistaken, was that at the Gallery when he won that tournament?
No, that was actually at the Grove when he won in the World Golf Championship in '06. Yeah,
he's got a handful of those, and I mean, it's the same trophy. So I've seen that actual trophy at the Gallery in Tucson, which he won down there. So there is a question that is gonna, and I've asked this question: if you've ever seen any of the previous episodes of the Friday Foursome, any episodes of the hashtag Wednesday Match Play, it's a different question than ever before. And I hope Les Bailey, who has been watching the show from the beginning, was sitting down when he heard me say that. But we'll get to that. So 9, it's your back 9, so to speak. Lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is your current handicap?
5.
5. That is good. You might be able to give me a few strokes on the front and the back 9. What is your favorite restaurant in Bend? And you have to pick one the same way you had to pick your favorite 18 at Pronghorn. What's your favorite restaurant?
Ariana.
Ooh, what is that?
Small restaurant, small number of seats, and one of the great things, it's chef owned, and him and his wife's Ariana, and they do a great job. It's on Galveston for anybody who's visiting Bend.
Ooh, that sounds really good. Let's go. I'm ready. Have you ever had an ace? And if you have, how many have you had?
I have not had an ace. I've had dunked one from the fairway, but literally last week, you'll like this Ricky Putz. Played in a tournament, made 7 birdies and an eagle.
Retire. Hang the clubs, put them in the closet, put them on sale, eBay those. That at 7 birdies and what did you shoot? My goodness.
I had a couple doubles in there. Shot 68. You tell me.
I was going to say, you might have. Wow.
I'm ready. That's all I tune my game up for now. Tell Donnie Spur.
What golf ball are you currently playing?
Titleist Pro V1X. 2 S's on the side.
Nice. I bet I know what those S's stand for. What is the best golf course you've ever played? And no, you are not allowed to say either course of Pronghorn, even if it was. What is the best course you've ever played?
Great experience. The Golf Club Kennedy Bay in Perth, Australia. I'm walking down. I can't remember the hole number. Designed by Ian Baker Finch. A links style golf course on the Indian Ocean. I'm walking down the hole. I jump up over these beautiful dunes to see the Indian Ocean. And as I peer over the edge, there's a naked beach there.
Okay. We'll pretend the layout is why you liked that course. What is the one course that you haven't played that is at the top of your bucket list of must-play golf courses?
Gal, it's got to be, I'm going to say, I can only give one.
Only one.
I'm going to go Cypress.
That's a good one. I'm glad you didn't say Augusta. I feel like people are like, oh, Augusta. Well, courses that you could potentially play in Cypress is one of those. So that's a good pick. Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
LPGA Tour player?
Curveball.
Who's my favorite LPGA Tour player?
Dude, they're watching, so be very cautious with. Oh, I don't watch the LPGA.
I would go with. I think I would probably see Stacey Lewis because she looks like she's a grinder. Never met her, don't know her, but she looks like when she's out there, she's just competing hard. That's
a good answer, and a little kick to the team at Park Hyatt Aviara. The Kia Classic is going on right now. Starts tomorrow at Aviara Golf Club, and if you've never been there or had the chance to go, check it out the next time you're in that area. It's in Carlsbad, and it is a fantastic property. And it's fun because I follow a lot of these girls on Instagram, and they're posting videos and pictures, and they're just having a good time. And the LPGA seems like a fun place to be, and And yeah, that's a good way to look at Stacey, like a grinder. Like she's just out there competing.
Yeah, I like that.
So the question that I used to ask and that I have, and I will ask this again starting next week is, will Tiger break Jack's record? And I get, ho-hum answers, and most of the time it's no. But in lieu of the season's first major and the fact that there's rumors that he's gonna, do you think Tiger plays in the Masters?
I do think he plays in the Masters, and I hope he plays well. It's good for golf if Tiger plays well, and it's good for, I think, everybody associated in the golf business. So he will play in the Masters, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, Ricky, and I'm going to say he actually plays well.
Ooh. Could he win? Could he win?
No.
No?
I don't think
All right.
I don't think he will, but I think he's going to play well, and I think he's going to surprise us.
How good would that be if he tees it up, he comes back, he's healthy? What I don't hope happens is that he comes back and gets hurt again in June, and it's the same thing over again. He's out of time to do that again. He needs to come back healthy, give us 5, 7, 10 more years of good quality Tiger, and I hope that it starts in a couple of weeks at the Masters. And your final question of your hashtag Wednesday match play is, what's next, man? You've had an awesome start to what is panning out to be an unbelievable and unforgettable career, but what's next for Spencer Schaub?
I got my focus right now is I'm getting married in September, and that's probably my number one focus. And Lisa and I are getting married in the south coast of Spain, so we'll be enjoying I'm sure a bottle of red Spanish wine on the Mediterranean on September 17th. So that's my big focus right now.
That does not sound like that will suck. That sounds like a fantastic way to do it. And I mean, of course, you're going to get married somewhere exotic and not in your backyard at Bend. So, Spencer, hey, I can't thank you enough for coming on this. This has been fantastic to learn a little bit more about the history of Pronghorn, to learn about the membership component of Pronghorn, to learn more about you and your history and things with Troon. It's been way over half an hour, so I'm going to let you go and enjoy your dinner. But thank you for coming on. And remember, eat, sleep, golf.